with OSU Extension. Today we're going to go over some knife safety skills. The first thing I want to go over is what some of these knives are for. This knife is a serrated knife. These are great for slicing bread. This one is a chef's knife, and you're going to use this the majority of the time. These two are both called paring knives. You're going to use those for small jobs or paring things like the core of a strawberry or an apple. The best way to store your knives are in a chopping block if you have one. This keeps them safe and out of the way. Or if your knife comes with a shield, these are great for storing in drawers. And if you keep them in drawers, make sure you keep your knives away from everything else and in a drawer specifically for knives. When using a knife, always make sure you use a cutting board. A great tip so that your board doesn't slide while you're chopping is get a paper towel, damp, or several, fold them up and put them underneath your cutting board. Then your cutting board won't slide or move while you're chopping. After using a knife, never set your knife in the sink. Always set your knife next to the sink to be washed. When using a knife, never wave a knife in the air. If you have to walk with your knife, always walk with it point down. When your knife is not in use, never have the knife pointing towards you. Always keep it pointed away from you and away from the edge. To avoid what is called cross-contamination, we never want to use the same cutting board for different kinds of foods. So we don't want to cut meat and then cut vegetables or fruit or any other kind of food. So it's best to either use a separate cutting board or completely sanitize and wash your cutting board before use. When you're using a knife, you always want to make sure your eyes are focused on what you're doing. So if your knife is in use, your eyes should be down and watching what you're doing. If you have chopped food and you're ready to move the food, the knife should be down and away from you. When using a knife, always wrap your hand around the handle. Never put your finger on top of the handle. If you need more pressure, just move your hand up on the handle. Never cut towards your body. Always cut away. So when we're holding the knife, we wrap our hand around and we're going to keep the tip down on the cutting board like it's glued. And we're going to cut away. Now I'm going to show you how to cut some different fruits and vegetables. Always wash your fruits and vegetables before cutting. I'm going to use a paring knife and take out the core of this tomato. So we're going to take the knife and just circle around the core and pop it out. If we're slicing a tomato, we want to make sure to keep our fingers back out of the way. Then we're just going to make long, thin slices. When dicing a tomato, we want to make sure we take out the core, just like we did before. Then we want to stand it up, and we want to make sure to cut the tomato in half so that we have a flat surface. Then I'm going to make sure to curl my fingers, keep them out of the way, and we're going to try to make about 1/4 inch slices. Then I want to make sure to line up the slices. Just take a couple slices, line them up, the biggest on the bottom, and then we're just going to make about 3 more slices. Then we're going to turn it the other way and make little cubes. When cutting something that can roll, you can use a method called the tunnel. So you bring your hands up and hold on to the sides of the round vegetable or fruit. You want to put the knife in first, then put your hands in, and just pull the knife along to cut it in half. Then that gives you a flat surface to work with. Now they won't roll away when we're trying to cut them. We're going to go ahead and slice that one more time into quarters. So now we have 4 nice little slices after we slice this one. Then I'm going to show you how to do the rocking motion. So we want to keep our fingers curled, and we're going to use our fingers to push the cucumber into the knife. But we want to make sure that our fingers stay out of the way. Always keep the tip of the knife on the cutting board. We're going to rock the knife. As we cut, we're going to use our fingers to push the vegetable in. Now, we have several nice little slices of cucumbers that are bite-sized. With this part of the cucumber, I want to show you the vacuum motion. So first we're going to chop off the ends because we don't want the end pieces. So we're going to get those out of the way. Then we're going to go up and over like a tunnel, slice it in half again. So we have our quarters of our cucumber. Then I'm going to show you how to do, this is the vacuum motion. So we're going to keep our fingers up, and we're going to move it like a vacuum as we're coming forward. We're going to slice and drive the knife like a vacuum. Make sure you keep those fingers out of the way. If you're cutting something that's too hard to cut with just your hand around the handle, it's okay to use top chop. So we're just going to press our hands, make sure your hand's flat, and use your hand to press the blade down. The last thing I want to show you is how to chop an onion. So keep your fingers curled and back. We want to cut up the front, the top of the onion, not the front. We want to leave the bottom end on because that holds it together. Then we want to lay it down on the top end where it's flat. And we want to use that top chop motion. Chop it in half. Take one out of the way. Then, once you have it in half, it's much easier to peel that first layer off. So we're going to peel that first layer. Now we have a nice flat surface. The skin is off. We're just going to curl our fingers on top, hold it, and slice it in half. Then we're going to make slices going the other direction, not clear to the blossom end though. Then we want to turn it, curl our fingers on top, and do our rocking motion. You learned how to be safe in the kitchen with knives and also some new knife skills. Have fun cooking, and thanks for watching.